What's up guys? Today I'm going to be showing you how you can go about getting some of the best rockets in the game. Rockets currently are, and probably will be, the DPS meta for the foreseeable future, so you're definitely going to want to pick yourself up a few of these rockets. Now some of these are better than others, and I will be letting you guys know which ones I do think are the best. But with them being the best, they are usually harder to obtain, so there are some easier to obtain lower tier options on this list. If you guys enjoy this kind of content, please be sure to drop a like and subscribe, and without further ado, let's get right into it. So the first rocket I'm going to be going over today is the Cold Comfort. Now this rocket drops from the newest dungeon that it released, Ghosts of the Deep. And the perk loadout you're going to be wanting to look for on this rocket is Envious Assassin and Bait and Switch. Now I'm covering this first because this is probably my favorite rocket in the game right now. The damage output that it currently has is almost unmatched with the combination of Envious Assassin and Bait and Switch alongside the Origin trait, Restoration Ritual. Now there are a few different farms you can do for this, and depending on your skill level, some are going to be easier than others. For example, the first boss is probably the fastest way you can farm this rocket and most efficient. But the thing is, you're going to have to one-phase him if you want it to be as efficient as possible, and I know some people aren't capable of doing that, so if you're not, you're probably going to want to farm the first encounter. Now this is a super easy encounter, pretty much go at your own pace. If the boss is giving you trouble, you're definitely going to want to farm this. Now the next rocket I'm going to go over is one that was reprised this season and reintroduced into the loot pool with different perks, and that's the Apex Predator. Now you're going to go ahead and get this one from the Last Wish raid. And the perks you're going to be on the lookout for are Reconstruction and Bait and Switch. Now I know raiding isn't for everybody, but if you want to try to put yourself out there and get outside your comfort zone, Last Wish would be a great place to start because this rocket is also another top tier option. And because it's craftable, unlike the Cold Comfort, you can pick your exact role and you don't have to rely on RNG. Now the next rocket I'm going to be going over is the Hothead. Now this has been the popular favorite since before this season introduced the Apex Predator and the Cold Comfort. So a lot of you may be familiar with this already, but if you're not, the Hothead comes from the Vanguard vendor. So the way you're actually going to obtain the Hothead is super simple. You're going to head over to the tower and go to Zavala, the Titan Vanguard, and you're going to click this tab on the bottom here that says Legacy Gear. And if you'll see right here in the middle, we have the Hothead. Now you can focus this thing for 25 Legendary Shards, 10,000 Glimmer, and 2 Vanguard Engrams. So it's pretty cheap and really easy to get. And if you're not into raiding or farming dungeons, this is definitely a top tier option as super easy to get Vanguard Engrams and you can get as many of these as you want. Another rocket you can get from the Vanguard is the Royal Entry. Now this rocket isn't as good as the Hothead, but it can also drop as a random drop from the end of strikes, so while you're farming for your engrams to get the Hothead, you can also passively be getting Royal Entries. The reason I say it's not better is because it only has one damage perk, and that being Lasting Impression, which isn't too popular of a choice. As you can see here on mine, I have Fill Prep and Demo, which is 2 reload perks, which is alright, but you're definitely going to want a damage perk on your rocket launcher if you're going for the highest DPS possible. With that being said, you can focus it from Commander Zavala in the tower, and it only costs 1 Vanguard Engram, but I definitely wouldn't recommend focusing for this. I would save your engrams and focus for the Hothead. Now another option for you Crucible players out there would be the Blowout. If you'll notice how I said for you Crucible players, that's because you can acquire this essentially the same way that you can acquire the Hothead, except from the Crucible vendor. So you're going to head over to Shax, the Crucible vendor in the tower. You're going to go to Focus Decoding, and you'll see the Blowout is right here. It actually costs even less. It only costs 1 Crucible Engram, and you know what? Let's actually focus one for the video.
Wasted.
Field Prep and Cluster Bombs, with Impact Casing. So you know what? This actually isn't even that bad of a roll. That's funny. Now the last legendary rocket I'm going to be covering in this video is he's in Vengeance, and this comes from the Vault of Glass raid. I personally wouldn't go out of my way to farm this rocket. The only real plus side that it has, in my opinion, is the fact that it can be adept, so you can put the adept mods on it. But other than that, the perk pool is kind of outdated. You know, when it first came out, Overflow and Vorpal was a super good combination, but now Vorpal's kind of been phased out for different perks such as Explosive Light and Bait and Switch. And I will quickly go over the Gala Horn. Now, this is an exotic rocket, not a legendary one, so there's no random rolls on it. Everyone's got the same one. And the way you can acquire this is from owning the 30th anniversary DLC pack. Now this rocket is pretty much a necessity when you're doing 6-man raids for rocket damage, as the intrinsic is rounds fired split into tracking cluster missiles upon detonation, and it also has a perk called Pack Hunter, and what this does is gives your teammates that are shooting legendary rockets, it also gives them Wolfpack rounds, so this rocket pretty much buffs everyone's damage. And yeah, I hope you guys found this video helpful. If you guys are interested, I'm going to be streaming over here on YouTube almost daily. Going to be streaming at around 1 o'clock Eastern Time, which is when the Destiny reset is. So whenever that is your local time, I will probably be live. And yeah, if you guys enjoyed, please remember to rate, comment, and subscribe. And I will catch you guys next time.